would like to welcome you to the Hamilton County Board of Elections meeting. Today is August the 15th. It's approximately 8:35, and proper notice has been given as required under Ohio Revised Code 121.22. I'd like us to begin first with the Pledge of Allegiance, and anyone in the room that has served our country or is serving, if you'll lead us in the pledge, please. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. And thank you very much, as always, for serving our country. We have a pretty nice agenda light today. We have board meeting minutes from August 1st and August the 2nd of 2022. They have been sent to us. Has everyone had an opportunity to review them?
Had an opportunity to. Again, this was the continuing meeting that started the day before the election and then on election day. So I'll move approval of the board meeting minutes as drafted and in our packets.
Second, sorry.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? That motion carries. Thank you very much. Next, we have ballot remakes from the August 2nd, 2022 primary election. Sherry, are you going to give us that report, or Carol? Okay.
Yes, we did have several ballots that came in after Election Day, but postmarked and received timely, that need to be remade. And Krista Criddle, our operations administrator, will present those to you.
That's a mouthful, isn't it? Yeah, I love it. Hi, Crystal.
Hi, thank you. So the first set of remakes that we have are Uocava ballots that had come in after Election Day. Those remakes are A47 through A51.
I'll move approval of those ballots as remade.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? And that motion carries.
Thank you. The next set of remakes that we have, these are our 17-year-old voters that came to vote at the polls on Election Day. 17-year-old voters are not permitted to vote for our state central committee candidates because that is actually electing them as opposed to nominating them. They can nominate candidates as well as they're not allowed to vote on issues. So any 17-year-old, and those are unscanned ballots, they don't scan those in so that we can verify that. So these we had to remake because they voted on contests that they were not eligible to vote on. And that's P1 through P6.
On those ballots, I'll move that we approve those ballots as remade to allow for only the races that those voters can vote on to be counted.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? And that motion carries.
Thank you. The last set that we have today were also ballots that had been voted on Election Day. They were unscanned ballots because the ballots were damaged, and so they wouldn't go through the scanner properly. So we had to remake those, and those are P7 and P8.
I'll move approval of those two ballots as remade.
Any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? And that motion carries.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Krista. Next on our agenda, provisional ballot report.
Yes, Madam Chair, you have a document in your packet entitled Summary Staff Recommendation for the August 2nd, 2022 primary election. There were a total of 413 provisional ballots issued in the election. Those envelopes containing the ballots were reviewed by bipartisan teams in accordance with Secretary of State directive and board policy. And we have the recommendations before you now. I believe the board typically starts with the rejected category.
We do. The one that requires further review, I know we typically start with the rejected. Should we jump into that one maybe, or no?
Sure, we can do that one. The one that is currently under board review is from a provisional voter where the date of birth listed on the provisional envelope did not match our records. The date of birth, the month, it was actually the day that was different. What was listed was April 3rd on the provisional envelope. Our records indicate that the date of birth is actually April 30th. The year does match. All of the other identifying information contained on the provisional affirmation statement matches the board's records. And state law does allow the board to vote in public session to accept this provisional envelope and count the provisional ballot. It's staff's recommendation to count the ballot.
Yeah, we've seen this before, and Dave, again, just to confirm what Sherry says, right? As long as it's otherwise substantially compliant, we can count it. And this would be a situation where the voter maybe just left off the 0
Right.
in their date of birth, so.
Especially if everything else matches.
Yeah, so I'll move approval of that one. That's for further review. I'll just get that one out of the way, if that's okay. So I'll move approval of that ballot.
Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? That motion carries.
As it relates to the rejected category, on the summary staff recommendation, I think we do those individually, or I think that somewhere along the way, we were instructed to do those individually. So the first 23 are voters who were not registered. So I guess when we reviewed the provisional ballot envelope, we determined that those voters weren't registered. So I'll move that we reject those 23 voters as having not been properly registered.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? That
And
motion carries.
The next category is the wrong precinct, wrong location number. That's the number that's come down substantially with our e-poll book, so it's good to see that. So I'll move that we reject only those 4 ballots as being voted in the wrong precinct and the wrong location.
Second.
All those in favor, I was just trying to process that for a minute. They were rejected, and the voter has not attempted to vote anywhere else, though, did they?
So if the voter appears at the wrong polling location to vote and cast their ballot in the wrong polling location, under state law, that automatically requires the board to reject. So we did not look to see if they had
Okay.
voted someplace else.
Okay,
That alone, the board must reject the provisional ballot for that reason.
gotcha. Okay. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? That motion carries.
Next category, there were 2 provisional ballot envelopes where there wasn't proper identifying information on the provisional ballot envelope. So the ones that are marked no ID here, I'll move that we reject the ones that say no ID.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? That motion carries.
Next category in the summary staff report indicates 11 voters who may have voted early in the early voting process. So this would have been a provisional ballot given to them in the polling location. So I'll move that we reject those 11 provisional ballot envelopes because they'd be voting twice if we allowed them. So I will move that we reject those 11.
Second.
Any more discussion?
Madam Chair.
Yes.
We are, we're, as we typically do, going to look into those 11.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, the deputy director and I will do that.
Thank you. Nothing further, Madam Chair.
Okay. Did you second it? Yes. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? That motion carries.
Next category is no address. And there's 1 ballot that would appear to not contain the appropriate address so as to be counted. So I'll move that we reject that 1 provisional ballot envelope.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? That motion carries.
Last category under rejected is no DOB, no date of birth listed on the provisional ballot envelope. So I'll move that we reject that one ballot for not having the appropriate date of birth.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone abstaining? Anyone nays? That motion carries.
All right. Staying with the report now, it looks like there are 370 that are being recommended for approval. And this, I think we just do that in one fell swoop. My math tells me that's about 89% approval, so that's pretty good. I'll move approval of the 370 provisional ballot envelopes, and that we accept those and open them for counting.
Madam Chair, if I could ask our director, wouldn't we add the 1? Or is that?
Yes, but you already voted to approve that one.
Okay, so we don't have to add that to the 370.
That's correct. You've already voted
Got
to
it.
accept that
Okay.
one.
My
Well,
percentage would be off by just a hair.
With that explanation, then I second the motion to approve 370 provisional ballots.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? That motion carries. So we will proceed to open these.
That's correct, Madam Chair. The bipartisan teams will begin opening the provisional envelopes and completing the official count, and we'll come back to you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. I believe you're scheduled to meet again tomorrow morning and certify the official results.
Is it 10? Why did I have 8:30? I'm used to 8:30, I guess.
We're used to 8:30. I believe
it's 10.
someone
I
had a
have it.
conflict, and that's why we moved it to 10.
Okay. All righty.
But if you all want to double check your calendars.
Tomorrow at 10?
Tomorrow, 10.
Yeah,
That's good.
Friday at 1:30. Yeah, I'm good. I've got
Yes.
it down.
Okay.
All righty. Then, is there anything else on the agenda?
No, nothing more from staff.
All right. I hope you are starting to catch up from the earlier August 2nd election and getting prepared now for the next one.
Yes, we are.
All right. Also would like to note that post-election special meetings tomorrow, as was indicated, August the 16th at 10, and then Friday, August the 19th at 1:30. So I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move that we adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed or abstaining? That motion carries. Thank you.